This playthrough is rated T for teen.
Kate's not crazy. She's just trying to find out the story about a girl that died or disappeared 70 years ago, and she's going to go to a sanatorium to learn all about it, and she's throwing all her friends and allies to the wind just to solve this mystery. And she decided to do this at the whim of a girl she only met for like a year inside of a mine. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Von Vecchio with another episode of Syberia, the World Before. In the last episode, we found out generally what happened to Owen and Dana becoming pregnant, so she had to leave this place. But we're not quite done here yet. Let's see if we can find out a few things before we dump this place and head on out, because we got to make sure that she wasn't here when the whole program situation occurred. Why'd you leave through the door there? Actually, I need to stay in there. I was just messing around. Yeah, we still have to look through the house. Come on, Kate. I'm making you get exercise. There you go. That sounds legit this time. Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, you're supposed to leave through the bedroom door. Alright, let's see if we can find any extra info before we head to the sanatorium.
Threats, riddled with misspellings and signed Frank Hoss, that member of the Brown Shadow who had it in for Leon at the refuge. Looks like he never forgave them and was after Dana during the pogrom.
Indeed, Kate Walker, but the very existence of this message could mean she wasn't home when those tragic events occurred.
That's a good clue, I guess, but I need to find more.
I need more. Kate needs more stuff.
So, according to that letter, Dana was supposed to stay at the sanatorium until December 1938. Looks like there were medical complications.
Oh dear. Sister Magdalene, Baden Sanatorium, Osterhall, June 13th, 1938. Dear Herr Roze, please accept my heartfelt thanks for the new donation Herr Zimmer made to our institution on your behalf. Therefore, it is my pleasure to inform you that Dana can remain with us until December 1938, as you have asked. It is indeed the most reasonable thing to do regarding the deterioration in her health. Please rest assured that we will continue to keep good care of her. Yours sincerely, Sister Magdalene, Mother Superior of the Baden Sanatorium.
We're getting close, but it's not enough to draw conclusions yet.
Yeah, all the stuff we find is like right in front of us. We didn't even try to find this stuff. It just popped out like a gosh darn jack-in-the-box.
Dana's initials.
Oh yeah, her little handkerchief, yeah. Alright, anything else around here? No, I think we found everything we could, at least in the general area, so. Okay, let's go. Now we can climb back down the fire escape. Because apparently this one is the only one that's out of the way. Alright, get that exercise in, Kate. You know, when I breathe and all that. Now let's head down to the memorial. Wonder if that lady has anything to say. Well, probably not, but we're not going to mess with it, so. Let's head over here. Yeah, remember this thing earlier that was like having that we couldn't barely read? Well, for whatever reason, we need to use the handkerchief to clean this thing off. I don't know why that specifically. We could have used anything else, but whatever.
Some of the names are covered up with dirt. How could I clean it?
With a rag, you moron. Could have asked someone for a rag for all, but no.
Anton and Lena Roze. Dana's parents. Oh God, they were killed during the pogrom.
Is Dana Roze also mentioned?
It doesn't look like it, no. But I need to be sure.
Yeah, we could have cleaned the other side, but we didn't want to do that. No, not at all. That one, wait a minute. Only the one that's important. Alright, let's head back towards the tram area. Alright, should be down this way. I think it's here, yeah.
Huh. According to that book, the pogrom occurred at the beginning of November 1938.
Aha! September 15th, 1935, anti-Gagarin laws are passed. March 12th, 1938, Osterhall is annexed by the Brown Shadow. November 9th, 1938, the Brown Shadow organizes a night of pogroms against the Vagaran community and especially its members living on Vagan's Bridge of Mists. October 30th, 1943, the Allies declared that the annexation of Osterhall and Austria were null and void. April 13th, 1945, Allied forces led by the Red Army liberate Vagan after intensive bombing. April 28th, 1945, Osterhall's independence is proclaimed. So, yeah.
I think that's it, Oscar. We know that the pogrom occurred at the beginning of November 1938. Dana's parents, Anton and Lena, were killed, that's certain. But Dana was supposed to be at the sanatorium back then.
Which seems to be confirmed by that message Herr Hoss left in the house, Kate Walker.
Exactly. So I guess we're done here, Oscar. Let's take the tram back to the guest house. We'll try to find that sanitarium first thing tomorrow.
Alright, after reading a random book, we get to head back to the tram and let's, finish the day off. So, looks like Kate Walker did a good. Surprising. No, she always does good. It's just, she's not making things worse for herself. She's not being chased, well, I mean, she is being chased by someone, but it's not as bad as in the first 3 games, I guess. Now let's head back to the guest house. And if you finish this area...
So, there she is. The famous Kate Walker.
Sorry, what?
Dana Roze. I knew her very well, you know. Our Dana darling. Waiting for the tram, aren't you? Well, we'd be better off speaking at the guest house. I hear there's a storm coming. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Miss Walker. Colonel Blake.
Colonel Blake or Fraulein Junta?
Connecting the dots, are we? You're a very clever young woman. But you must be eager to know why I'm here in front of you, bearing the surname of one of Her Majesty's military officers. But here's our tram. Would you be so kind?
Alright, for finishing that, we get the Unexpected Encounter achievement for those who are doing that. And yeah, somehow we find Junta following us. That's a little creepy, don't you think? But, not talking on the tram, though. Can't do that. Can't get extra. We have to wait till we get to the guest house. You know, as all things are. No one else is there but those two, and then they awkwardly look at out the window and everything like that. Alright.
So, Miss Walker, you've been rather quiet. I would have thought you'd have some questions for me. No?
I don't know. Move along. Sure, let's ask her all the questions.
You mentioned the guest house. Are you that other guest I heard about?
Indeed, Miss Walker. It's actually Frau Wagner who told me about you. When she told me that you were looking for Dana, I knew I had to talk to you. Frau Wagner told me to call the academy, which I did, and the rector then redirected me towards the Bridge of Mists. And that's how I ended up wandering up and down it, asking about a mysterious American woman with a painting.
I read that you used your prestige as an artist to spy on the Brown Shadow for the UK before and during the war. So, what is your real name then? Junta Steinhoff or Colonel Blake?
Janice Blake is my name, Miss Walker. It's not the sort of name the Brown Shadow would have trusted, I'm sure you'll agree. So I took my mother's maiden name as an alias. Both my parents were diplomats from Austria, you see.
So you were some kind of double agent?
You make it sound more romantic than it really was, miss. But yes, I guess one could say so.
I guess you have new information about Dana for me?
I might very well indeed, Miss Walker, but what if you told me first what that little investigation of yours has dug up about Dana?
Well, I mean, obviously you know more than I do, so what's the point? But all right, we'll humor the old broad.
I know Dana was very concerned about Leon being on the run after the death of that scientist, Herr Berger. I can't blame her. How could he survive through the winter, all alone in the mountains in a strange country?
How could he? That's exactly the right question, Miss Walker. That origin expedition in Valtair, what a mess that was.
And then Dana being sent to the sanatorium.
I discovered today that Dana became pregnant that summer of 37. Leon was the father. So her parents decided to hide her in a sanatorium outside town. Which, I assume, saved her from the night of the Brown Shadow pogroms in Vagen.
You assume right, but her parents, on the other hand.
Yes, I heard they didn't make it.
Poor bastards, if you'll pardon my French.
So, that's basically all I know. Can you tell me what happened to Dana after she left for the sanatorium to have her baby?
I must confess, Miss Walker, that I was afraid you might overlook some of the painful information here, which is clearly the case.
What do you mean?
Look, I think it would be best if we stay in this carriage until the very end. I know it is an odd request to make, but you really must see this for yourself.
Well,
Until then, I recommend you look outside the window. I guarantee it'll be worth your while. I'm sorry, Miss Walker, but chasing you around that bridge was more exhausting than I thought.
That's okay. I can wait.
Ah, nonsense. I know how eager you are to find out about Dana. So you go first. I'll meet you at section 08. I'll come meet you there.
So you're set to do some point-and-click adventuring for a little bit before we feel like we need to get back to the plot.
Can't you just tell me what we're doing here?
I know it must seem cruel, speaking in riddles and keeping up all this mystery like a bloody fortune teller, but I promise, you must see for yourself.
Okay then.
And don't forget, miss, section 08. Find it, and I'll meet you there.
Oof. Cold as hell here.
Well, it's only cold in hell at the ninth circle, at least according to Dante's Inferno, but okay. Maybe that's what you meant. The great vegan swans are not only the immortal symbol of our town, they are living and fragile beings. Please do not feed the swans! Wrong and uncontrolled feeding can cause illness and be fatal to them. You know, the journey here kind of reminded me of the duck boats when I went to Galveston, as well as I think Eureka Springs had them. They were basically just boats that were duck inspired, and they were just tours you could take around areas. I don't know if they're still a thing, but as a kid I thought they were, and a young teenager I thought they were interesting, but there's the thing. But we're not going anywhere, so yeah, we're on the mysterious island, which is the oh, do you have anything extra to say before we head out? Obviously she's not going to touch us more, but
08. That's the section you'll need to find.
you could just tell me, but you just don't want to spoil the
How the
surprise.
heck do I get myself into these situations?
Dude, you're the one who wanted to go on an adventure. It's all your fault, Kate Walker.
These ruins, they look like they're from the Middle Ages or something.
They are from the Middle Ages.
These ruins,
Okay.
they look like they're from the Middle Ages or something.
Stop looking at it. Yeah, too bad I can't, like, if I accidentally click on something, I can't, like, back out of it, so they stop the dialogue for that. I'm like, no, stop it. Don't need to look at it anymore.
There's something sinister about all this.
Have no fear, Kate Walker. The sun's setting, and you're all alone in an isolated and derelict place. Statistically speaking, it is highly improbable that you'll meet anybody, good or bad.
Thank you, Oscar, but please do me a favor. Stop trying to reassure me, would you?
As you wish, Kate Walker.
Stop trying to freak me out and freak me out. I mean, you gotta give the game credit. It gives you a lot of time to enjoy the view, I guess.
This place gives me the creeps. Looks like... Oh, jeez.
What is it, Kate Walker?
This place, it's a cemetery, Oscar. I think Dana's... Oh my god, she must have...
Don't jump to hasty conclusions yet, Kate Walker. You should try and find that spot that Colonel Blake mentioned.
Section 08. Yes, Okay, let's go. Oh my god.
I mean, it's a cemetery. You've been to them before, right? But anyway, let's check this out. Ooh.
Is there anything that requires my assistance?
Yeah, maybe. Come on out, Oscar.
I'm gonna need you to be my eyes, Oscar.
Will do. Just call me whenever you need directions.
Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. He's supposed to help you get to the...
Bye. Again.
I know, Oscar. I know.
Obviously, you do not, Kate Walker.
Yeah, why don't you get stuffed in a bag, lady? Yeah, you can switch to Oscar at certain points to figure out where we're going through this whole thing, so...
A cemetery. Oh my god. Impossible to get through. I'll have to find a way to go around it.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to use the eyes and ears of Kate Walker here to find stuff.
Section B. Illegible.
Yeah, there's quite a few of these legible, and then you can use Oscar to help you find stuff. What we're trying to find is there's a secondary objective for this place, which is find the nameplate of donors. So we were trying to keep a lookout for those. Hello.
Something's missing here.
All right, we'll keep this one in mind. We don't have anything right now to do anything with it, but yeah, keep it.
It seems to have to do with the gates.
So yeah, remember this for later. Not much later, but.
Section F.
Section F. Almost sounds like she was AI reading that or something.
Impossible to read.
Impossible.
It can't be here. Better keep looking.
Yeah, calm down, Kay. Jeez.
Impossible to get through here. Better find another way.
Man, just Kate's all about the negative, huh? Just gotta remember all about the positive. Or how does the song go? Something like that, anyway. Oops, didn't mean to go up yet.
The Undertakers must have forgotten it. It seems so old. This place must be centuries old.
Maybe. A lot of places in Europe are old. Definitely a very creepy area to look through.
Illegible.
Alright, so we need to find a... let's see. I think I need to head up. I think it's here I need to head up. You can also, like I said, switch to Oscar if you...
Can you tell me where I am?
Reporting for duty. Once again.
Yeah, and then it's just basically... So, yeah, there's the pickaxe and a mechanism we found. Yeah, I need to go up the stairs.
Section P.
P. Don't keep saying that. I might have to go to the bathroom. It's supposed to be there. It is.
I recognize some of the names here. Pretty interesting. But I should get back to what I was doing.
Let's see. To our generous donors, Jane Eyre, Isabella Ein, Marcus Fitzel, Leopold Helig, Lenny Renier, Matilda Rotmeyer. Yeah, Lenny is the name. Chiara Brewer, Eric Fitcher, Katja Glacier, Magdalene Newman, Julian Sandmeyer, and Adam Zimmer. Yeah, Zimmer is also another name. So, yeah, that's the donor plate. So, all right. So we need to head towards Section M as our next location. So.
Oscar, I'm kind of lost here.
Let's see.
Okay. I mean, it's not that complicated. Not really.
Illegible.
Illegible. And some of them you can see pretty clearly, so.
Anna Rose, 1938. Gone to a better place. Oh no.
Yeah, she basically lost the child. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but what's the obvious question?
What happened?
Dana's health had deteriorated at the Sanitorium. Her coughing fits, the pregnancy, and all the stress about Leon being on the run out there in Baltayar. It was just too much for her to bear. The doctors had to put her to sleep before her delivery. There were complications, and when she woke up, her parents told her the terrible news. They had already buried the baby girl.
How come the Brown Shadow didn't go after Dana? They controlled Ostertal back then, right?
Oh, they would have eventually, believe me.
And afterwards?
Dana became sterile because of the complications during childbirth. So she remained at the Sanitorium a few months more. She was devastated, poor darling.
That's how she survived the pogroms.
Yes, but that didn't mean she was safe.
So what happened afterwards?
Dana lost everything. Her parents, her baby, Leon. I think she would have just given up if I hadn't been there that day. But I had to go to London. Back then, I used to get invited every year or so to all kinds of artistic events. I could then make out my report to the British Secret Service without arousing the Brown Shadow's suspicion. So I took Dana with me to save her from them. Dana stayed in London for about 6 years. I found her a flat and a position with my real employer, the Foreign Office. She had no family, no friends, and in a way she had no life. She spent every minute she had in the office fighting in her own way against those who took everything from her. She went from one promotion to another, and soon she was among those in charge of coordinating all the resistance fighter groups pertaining to the different occupied countries of Europe.
All right, Dana. Focus. The Admiralty needs us to spot the enemy units on the map according to the reports they provided.
Alright, so this mystery is just to help them with like placement and stuff like that, so let's take a look at things. Yeah, I guess losing everything caused her to focus a lot into one territory, so at least she's gotten something to do, right? Message from resistance fighters. Our scouts have confirmed that 2 tank divisions are still positioned in Belgium. Please note that another tank division left for Le Havre. And then this one. SOE report. Special Operations Executive reports of Agent BJB. I wonder if that's a reference to Wolfenstein, because BJ Blazkowicz. So I could be wrong, but I think that's a reference to Wolfenstein. Investigation and enemy units movements and SAM surface to air battery positions. French western coast situation. 2 SAM batteries have been spotted towards Dover. A tank division is leaving Cherbourg to reach the SAM battery near Brest. The SAM battery is near Caen, is still active. So, okay. So, the idea is to figure out like where to put one in each place. So, all right. Okay, let's take a look at everything too. So yeah, you can put subs and tanks in certain areas and stuff like that. So obviously subs would be in here. And then you could put SAM and tanks in these places, but that doesn't make sense. So English Channel at tank or subs. Cherbourg look at subs. And subs around the areas here. And here. And then here had a SAM. This one had tanks. SAMs there. Tanks. SAM. SAM. And then yeah, tanks here. And here. And then sub there.
That's it, I guess. Yunta!
Dana, darling, you can use my real name here, you know.
Sorry, but I just can't get used to it. For me, you'll always be Ginger Yunta.
Charming. I'm sure I have Lenny to thank for that, hmm? You were always too soft on that little brat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. I guess. Anyway, what are you doing here? So glad to see you.
Only doing my duty, Dana, darling. A gallery invited me for a conference, so I jumped at the occasion to report back to our superiors. But it might be the last time for a while, I'm afraid. It's getting very hard to leave the occupied territories, even for a famous so-called pro-brown shadow artist like me. Anyway, how have you been since my last visit?
Well, you know.
Busy, I guess. That landing everyone is talking about could change everything.
You know quite well that wasn't what I was asking about.
Well, with Leon being missing and probably lying dead somewhere in Baltayar for the past 7 years, and what happened to my parents, you know how I feel. But it's all beginning to feel like a dream, Yunta. A distant dream. Especially her. And I don't want it to, you know, I don't want her, my sweet Anna, to just fade away. I'm sorry, Yunta, but could we please change the subject?
Of course, darling.
What is it?
More work for you, actually.
Oh?
Yes. The Allies need someone for an operation with the Resistance in occupied territory, and they think it should be you. But truth be told, Dana, I'm not sure that's such a good idea.
Why not? I did volunteer for field operations. They've trained me a lot for that.
I know, Dana, but this operation will happen in Ostertal, right next to Wagen, actually.
I see.
Look, you don't need to answer me this minute. And no one would blame you if you declined the mission. We all know you don't only have happy memories of Wagen. You still have time to think it over. But before you give your final answer, they need you to identify the resistance group that will execute the operation. It's all explained here. And of course it's all top secret stuff. So you must cross-reference the documents right here in this room. You'll have to use that thing over there.
But I don't know how to use it.
I'm sure that's easy for you. You have such a clever mind, my little virtuoso. I'll see you later.
Well, let's get cracking then.
Yeah, it's time to use a convoluted puzzle method, but then again, the Allies did use, was it the Wind Talkers to confuse the German puzzle masters, so why not, right? Although it's not that complicated, it's just a unique language all on its own. Directorate of Special Operations, Foreign and Commonwealth Office, London. Top secret. Mission order number 070222021. Revision 44-1944. To SOE Agent Dana Roze. Dear Agent Roze, we need volunteers for a delicate operation with the resistance in one of the occupied countries, a country you know well, Osterhal. If you accept, you will be dropped near Wagen so that you can coordinate on exfiltration operations of a civilian and get him into Switzerland. To do so, you'll be escorted by one of the main resistance networks in the region. It has obtained excellent results the past few years. Whether you accept or not the mission, we need you to identify the network among other small underground groups active in Osterhal. For reasons of confidentiality, you are not to leave your office until you have done so. We have granted you temporary access to your workstation's pneumatic telegraph, a contribution to the war effort that was given to us by a French engineer. This machine will allow you to claim any relevant documents you might need. We wish you good luck. Okay. Also, I need to go over through the diary because there's been quite a few entries added since last time. Let's see. I think that was last time. Well, I'll read it again. I keep getting these horrible nightmares of Leon being attacked by a ferocious snow creature. No, that's alright. So... let's see. Okay, suitcase. Let's see. December 22nd, number 37. Dear Diary, so much has happened since I received Leon's letter a few days ago. I'm slowly recovering. Today, Papa and Mama told me that I was going to leave for a while. I'll explain what's going on, but I don't know where to begin. I need to gather my thoughts as I finish packing my suitcase. There's Leon. October 14th, 1940. Dear Diary, well, I know. It's been 3 years already that I haven't written anything, ever since I left for the sanatorium near Wagen. It's because my diary must be in the chest in my bedroom where I left it before leaving for my convalescence. So I found this English substitute in which I write these few lines. I've been living here in London for the past couple of years. This is where Junta brought me after the death of my parents and of my... No, I don't want to talk about her. So it's been 2 years since Junta saved me from the pogroms that followed the annexation of Wagen. Junta, the filmmaker, or rather Janet as she's really called, turned out to be a double agent working for the Allies. I should have guessed, but the fact in her leading a double life is what saved my life. Life. That's what you can call my existence in London for the past 2 years. I spent my days pent up in Junta's flat, only popping out from time to time to the pub down the road to play a few notes on the piano, but I won't bring back my parents, nor Leon, our daughter neither. During her short visits to London, Junta keeps urging me to pull myself together, saying that I'm depressed and that I ought to see a specialist. But what's the point? You need to take some turmeric. That's supposed to help. I must admit I swore never to write again, but tonight I have nothing else to do. I'm stuck down here in the underground station with hundreds of others. The brown shadow has been bombing London almost every night. Feels like I'm being hunted down. It's almost as if the brown shadow was trying to push me out to hurt me whenever I may be, as if to punish me for having the presumptuousness of escaping from them in Wagen. October 15, 1940. Well, I survived yet another bombing raid, but not everyone got away with it. In another underground station, a pipeline was hit by a bomb. The station got flooded. About 60 people died, drowned. There were children among the dead. I just can't bear this feeling of being powerless. I can't stand having to wait for the next tragedy to avoid. I've got to do something. Fight against the brown shadow and try within my modest means to turn the tide of the 20th century that is becoming so tragic, which seems to be taking great delight in being as cruel to me. September 30th, 1941. So much has changed since I wrote. Last time Yunta came to visit, just can't get used to calling her Janet. I asked if she could find me a job as I could participate in the war effort against the Brown Shadow. Yunta must have taken my request as a sign that my mental state is better now, because she immediately set to work to answer my request. Using her connections, she managed to get me a job as a military assistant at the Foreign Office, in the department in charge of supervising the resistant groups against the Brown Shadow in all the occupied territories of Europe. I might be just a simple assistant for the moment, but I have every intention of rising through the ranks as quickly as possible. At least this way, being focused on the struggle against the Brown Shadow will take my mind off everything else. December 1st, 1941. Christmas will soon be upon us. It's been 4 years now since Leon was to join me after his departure for Batailleur with the Origin Expedition. Wherever you may be after all this time, rest in peace, my darling Leon. April 20th, 1942. I had the nasty surprise of waking up in the infirmary this morning. I was working really late last night, and apparently I just passed out. My superiors have threatened me with forced leave if I don't slow down. I know they are right, but I just can't help it. Every minute counts to anyone who wants to triumph over the Brown Shadow. May 5th, 1942. Had a fleeting visit from Yunta yesterday. Officially, she came for an exhibition. Unofficially, to make out her report to the Foreign Office. Yunta heard about my malaise and my overinvestment in my work. I was half expecting her to reprimand me, but not in the least. It even came to light that Yunta had pleaded in favor of me participating in the field-based operations, secret military operations. My training begins next week. I'm so excited. June 7th, 1942. It's been over a month since I began training. I feel exhausted, but everything has been going swimmingly. I must admit at first I was apprehensive about using weapons, but it turns out that I'm quite a dab hand. Needless to say, I'll never be a killing machine, but I do know how to defend myself, and my reflexes are good, so too is my capacity to take the right decisions in emergency situations. And according to my instructor, that's what really counts. My trainer was at first doubtful of the idea of training a woman for combat, but given the spectacular results obtained by other female underground fighters in occupied territory, he has become more committed to training them. I've always wondered why these results weren't made public. Anyway, weapons are just a small part of my training. I'm also training in military equipment, means of communication, tailing methods, and parachuting. All that's left to do now is finish their training and receive my first mission. Can't wait. July 4th, 1947. Most of my field training is done. I'm now only asked to attend the odd training session to keep up to par, so I've returned to my office work while waiting for them to assign me to a mission. I'm still waiting. I've raised the subject with my superiors, who invariably keep saying that they are waiting for the right opportunity, so there's nothing else to do but wait. I'll just have to sit tight and continue to contribute to the war effort against the Brown Shadows by coordinating the various resistant groups in various territories. Yeah, you can't just jump right into it, lady. Gotta focus. Keep calm.
Could one imagine anything as insane as the whole wide world at war? And for the second time in barely a generation.
I mean, technically the whole world wasn't at war. There was quite a few countries that didn't even do anything or participate, so, just saying.
Yunta said I wasn't allowed to leave the room until I identified the resistance network.
We just call it that because a good deal of countries did participate in it, but... The Spiffer. Submarine Spiffer.
The most widely used Allied single-seat fighter plane. I probably owe it my life.
Maybe.
Like all of us here.
Sorry, maybe. Stop acting like a drunk.
The Blitz ended a few years earlier, but now the Brown Shadow is sending us a new death machine. The V2.
V2 bomber? B-17 bomber.
The United Kingdom seems pretty much on its own as representative of the free world in Western Europe.
It seems like that at times.
The Soviets are on the move. They've reconquered most of their territory, and they're closing in on the Brown Shadow.
And of course they're not using the actual unit of the enemies during World War II, because they wouldn't be able to sell it in Germany if they did that.
The Brown Shadow still occupies the whole of Central and Western Europe. We've reconquered North Africa and half of southern Italy, and we aren't going to stop there.
You didn't really win much by doing that, though. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, let's take a look at the machine here. Oh, there's one more thing over there. Hold on. Like, check that out over there. Oh, is that the same thing? Okay, never mind. Never mind. All right. Well, we fixed that one thing back back when we were in the mountains. So why can't we fix this or figure this thing out? Interesting. Well, let's look at the main piece first, which is this.
From what I can understand of that thing, the pressure must be high in the left tube, but low in the right one. That must be for mixing the correct proportions of rarefied air in the system with the compressed air. Compressed air. I think I need to get the mixture right, paying close attention to the rarefied air.
So we basically need to adjust this bit to get to the green symbol over there. So. So basically we need to get about right here, and then this one, let's see. Oh. Okay, so I think that's where we're supposed to leave that one. That one's actually in the right position, so.
I guess I must apply the right setting for the pressure to remove that safety device. I guess I must apply the right setting for the pressure to remove that safety device. Compressed air. I think I need to get the mixture right, paying close attention to the rarefied air.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, I think it's supposed to be like a little bit past this. It's not really that much. It's like just supposed to be like in the general area here, so there you go. Now let's turn this wheel over here, wherever. There it is. Okay, so we got that. So we fixed the thing. Now we need to obtain the list of the resistant networks. So let's go over here. Interesting. Back up for a second, look at this thing. Well, that's not right. I was just pressing it just to mess with it.
Silly me. Can't be it.
Yeah, I was just, it just does it.
Else.
So anyway, let's look at the thing here. So we need to be, topic needs to be resistance. Let's see, where is it? Well, we got like research, resistance. I'll show you all of them. Defense, diplomacy, liberation, occupation, intelligence, trade, influence, alliances, industry, infrastructures, research, and resistance. That's what we need. Subject needs to be networks, but we got battlefronts, roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Espionage, resources, unions, networks, hospitals, production, troops, currency, propaganda, agriculture, battlefronts, roads. Oh, right. Okay. Let's go back. We need to go to networks here. Because that's what they asked us to find, so. Yeah, come on. Get there faster. Alright, networks. And then country. We got Italy, Egypt, France, Japan, United Kingdom, Libya. It's the Libyans! Germany, Austria, which is where we're supposed to go. USSR, Spain, Poland, USA, and then back to Italy again. So anyway, Austria is where we want. There we go. And then back up. And press the button.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah. Alright, now we need to figure out where the thing is, which it's obvious, but region, codename, leader aliases. We got Anti, Revenge Dawn, Meteora, Dulac, Grey Fox, Dr. Glaze, Bregans, Phoenix, Deceased, Knights, Aeon, Pack, reported missing, Dorben, Krustein. We got Bertha, Blue Sparrow, Care, Golden Foot, Spectre, Dark Chameleon, MIS, Lady Remington. Lens, we got Blue Sky, Grand Duke, Thunder, Hare Valder, Newstat, Octopus Barber, Eggsea, Derek Koch, Retz, Parabellum, and Condor. Vice has Lookout and the Mole. Svelte has the Sun with S. Bristow. Ingriff with Foil and Redmond and Moray. And obviously the one we want to see is Vegan here. Alpine Liver. Wait, what? Or whatever you named Leon.
Edelweiss? A coincidence. It must be a coincidence. The network leader's alias.
Come here now, my pretty Edelweiss.
Don't call me that. You know I don't like it.
It's true though. That's exactly where you are, my pretty Edelweiss.
If you keep that up, Leon Kobatis, I'll find you a nickname too.
Go on then.
All right. Your nickname will be Alpine Lover from now on. Leon! He's alive. He's alive. He's alive! I need to... Oh, good grief. But how did he... Yunta! Yunta!
So Leon made it from Baltayar. But how?
I have no idea, miss. All I know is that he survived for almost a year in the mountains before coming back to Ostertal to set up the Edelweiss resistance group.
Which made Dana accept the mission you told her about back then, right?
Of course, she was given extra training and was dropped near Vagan the following summer to carry it out. We'd better get going. It looks like the storm is coming.
You go first. I'll meet you at the tram station in a minute.
Of course. Take all the time you need.
There you go, another introspection over there for Miss Rose. Sad when children die of complications. Don't even get a chance of life. The world is truly a cruel place sometimes. Well, back to the mystery, but there's one thing we probably want to do before we leave this place. But what awaits us inside? And now that Dana found her way back to Europe after all that thing with Alpine Liver, how will we find information about that whole situation? We'll find out next time in the next episode of Syberia, the World Before. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time.